What's going on, everybody? John Arapoli here with My MMA News, and today's guest just defeated John Salter by unanimous decision at Bellator 276. I am pleased today to be joined by Johnny Eblen, the human cheat code, who's in a brand new vehicle there. So, Johnny, you're driving a Tesla. Well, first off, congratulations on the win, and thanks for being here. But I got to ask you about that Tesla. It's pretty sweet, man. I know a lot of people have good things to say about that car. What's it been like? I know you just got it. You're only a few days behind the wheel there, but what's it like been driving that car?
Best experience I've ever had in a vehicle. I'm glad I made the transfer over. I used to own a Dodge Ram TRX. That thing was badass. And then I just recently got this. I sold my TRX, made some money on it because, used cars are up like crazy. Bought my new Tesla during fight week. I bought my new Tesla like a month ago. It came during fight week. A friend of mine picked it up, Ellie Dawson. Her name's Ellie Wagman, but she's getting married to Grant Dawson. He's in the UFC. He's a good friend of mine. But she picked it up during fight week, drove it over to my house, kept it there, kept it safe. I came back to a new car after beating up John. And not going to lie, it's the best vehicle I've ever driven.
So those are obviously electric. You're at a charging station right now. If you want to go ahead and spin around, show everybody why there it is there as you charge up the car there. What's that kind of like there? Like, is it, so obviously we know how cars work with gasoline, obviously. Do you feel like it lasts longer being electric? Because I have a friend that drives a truck and he's always complaining like he's going for gas all the time and gas is so expensive. Do you feel like you get like more juice out of it when you have an electric car like that?
Well, I get about 315 miles for range on a full charge. Right now, I'm utilizing these supercharging stations, and they're relatively cheap. Like I've been here for how long have I been here for? I want to say about 30 minutes, and I'm almost to a full charge. I started at 30%, and I want to say it's like $10, so it's cheap. Down in South Florida, there's a lot of Tesla stations. There's a lot of charging stations. Also, you can charge at your house. I'm gonna get a setup put in my house to where I can just charge every night, and I'll have a full charge every morning. So, yeah, man, it's the future. I think it's the way people need to start going.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that. It seems like things seem to be trending in that direction of going with the more electric route with vehicles there. Do you think that maybe in the next like 5, 10 years is what we're pretty much going to see all over the place? That, old cars with gasoline is going to be a thing of the past?
Potentially, these cars are just better, just in general. Like I'm charging right now, and I was on YouTube, like watching videos, and I have Netflix. They have video games on here. The car can drive itself. I haven't done the full self-driving mode yet, but I've utilized autopilot. It's pretty similar to self-driving, but this car is awesome. It outperforms any gas car I've ever driven.
All right. Well, you definitely have me sold on it. I know a lot of people are going to be headed in that direction there. I have a Subaru Impreza, which are pretty good. I know I'm still paying it off. I'm a big fan of the car, but I know that definitely the Tesla route's going to be a thing in the future there, and I'm sure one day I'll probably own one just like everybody else. But in the meantime, everybody is here to talk about this fight. They want to hear what you have to say about it and hear about the future, as obviously a Bellator middleweight title picture is obviously next for you. So let's start talking about this victory here. Obviously, it just happened a few days ago. You're able to let it all sink in now and process it. Just how are you feeling? I'm sure you still have to be on top of the world after what has to be probably the greatest performance of your career there. I mean, you made that fight look so easy there. You were so dominant in it. Just your thoughts a few days removed from the fight.
I thought I could have been a little bit more exciting in the fight, but after reflecting on it, I was just being smart, being a little bit more conservative. It was my toughest fight to date. Showed a couple areas that I need to improve on. But yeah, I thought it was a good performance. It wasn't my best because I know what I do in the training room, and I definitely outperform, or I definitely perform better in the training room than I did in that specific fight. So what I'm trying to work on is honestly getting better at certain skill sets, but also making the fight more like how I spar, if that makes any sense. If I can perform like I perform in sparring during fight night, that's gonna be a huge advantage for me.
So you're talking there how like you want to make it more the way how it is in sparring, but I still feel like it seems like you were pretty confident wherever it goes. So is it like a matter almost like when you are in sparring, the way like the looks that you're getting inside there that you feel wherever a fight goes, you're just so confident in it because you just seem so relaxed and so natural in there on fight night, and it obviously has to be a testament to ATT and the good work that you guys get down there. Obviously, you have a lot of high level middleweights in the gym there, and we talked about that a few months ago when we spoke, but I'm sure that has to be a big credit to the gym that you're looking so confident in the cage and that you're saying the way you performed isn't even your best.
Yeah, well, we have to account for a few other things that I do. I do a lot of things outside of the gym that help me, show up with confidence, help me show up in my best health and everything. I have to give a shout out to Functional Patterns and a mentor of mine, Nadia Aguilar. They really helped me, improve my confidence, improve my frame, and sticking to my frame during fight night. Obviously, ATT, I have to give them a shout out. They have a great facility, great coaches, great training partners. You obviously have to put in the work to become a champion, and they provide an amazing gym to work at. So it's a collective effort. It's not just one thing, but there's a lot of other things I do outside of FP and in the gym at ATT. Like there's certain things that I have to take accountability on and change certain behaviors. So when I show up fight night, I'm the best Johnny Eblen there. So yeah, man. I think there's more improvements that need to be made. It wasn't my best performance, and I'm looking forward to making the adjustments and becoming better.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to what's next too. It's likely a middleweight title picture here, but we'll ask that in a second here. I do want to ask you about one more thing with this fight specifically. And afterwards, right when you went to your post-fight interview, it seemed like everybody wanted to ask about this, and I'll ask you about it too as well. But the kicks to the body that you were throwing there, kind of a little bit of a new wrinkle there that we haven't really seen from you there. You mentioned that you were drilling that quite a bit in camp and getting better all around there. Just talk about that. Was that part of the game plan coming in, number one, and number two, just drilling it and improving it and getting better down there at ATT? Because obviously a lot of great coaches down there. I'm sure a lot of different people are able to pull you in a different direction, show you a couple different things you're able to utilize on fight night the way how you did.
Yeah, so I work every aspect of my game. I work obviously on kicks. I work on my boxing. I work on my BJJ, my wrestling. Work on everything, right? This camp, I usually work with Anderson Francia. He's a striking coach at ATT, but he was kind of booked because he had to corner Maheta. He fought the same day as I did, but in the UFC in the main event. I think he ended up losing to the Russian, I think by decision.
Mm-hmm.
But I decided to not work with him as much this camp, and I shifted over to Thiago Alves, Pitbull, and we started working this camp a little bit more, and we were really, working on going to the body with kicks, and then switching stances and going to the calf when I'm in southpaw, because we'd be southpaw that would open up that calf kick. So, but when we were open stance, I was working on going to the body with my kicks and going to the head. So yeah, it was kind of part of the game plan, but just in general, that's just like a general rule set that I go with. Like if there's a certain stance or certain styles matchup, I utilize certain weapons because they're the best weapons to use. So it's not specifically for John Salter or that fight. It's just a general principle I work off of.
So that win came in St. Louis, Missouri. You, of course, were born and raised in the state of Missouri. You were a wrestler at the University of Missouri. What was that like returning there? Obviously, you have family and friends in attendance. I'm sure that'd be a pretty cool experience for you to get to fight there and get to soak it all in with all the hometown people there.
Yeah, it was really awesome. My family was front row. I had my sponsor out there that's in St. Louis. Shout out to Kui Tran. He owns Noodle House and My Lee. Also had a buddy of mine. He's a rapper, T Dubbo. Go check him out. He's on Spotify. He was supposed to walk me out, but things ended up not working out, and he wasn't able to. But he was able to make it to the fight with his girl. He was front row, but and I had some friends from high school, friends from college that went and showed up and watched me fight and congratulated me after. But it was really cool just to fight in front of like some familiar faces instead of going to the Mohegan. I was so used to going to Mohegan. I think I fought there four times, 4 or 5. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, man, it was nice. Change of scenery and closer to my home town of Kansas City, Missouri.
So obviously, like I said, there you were a wrestler at the University of Missouri. Great wrestling program. I was wondering if you still kept your tabs on them. March Madness is coming up here. I believe it's this weekend actually, and I'll be paying attention definitely to the finals on Saturday night. There, what was number one that experience like of wrestling at Missouri, and then number two, do you plan on watching them this weekend in the NCAA tournament?
Um, my experience at Missouri was pretty good. Not gonna lie. Coach Smith, great coach. I didn't get to accomplish everything I wanted to in collegiate wrestling, so I kind of left with a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth. But it's all good. I learned from that experience. It was a great experience. I took a lot from it, and yeah, of course, I'm going to be watching and supporting this weekend.
All right, let's get back to the fight game specifics here. Of course, everybody wants to know about what's next here if you are indeed going to get that title shot against Gegard Mousasi in Bellator's 185-pound division there. So, any word at this moment in time? Have you been told by anybody in Bellator that you are indeed next? And how do you think you match up with them early on here?
No, I haven't gotten anything on paper or any word from Bellator. I heard that I'm in the mix. I think they're talking about a few potential fights that they're going to make with Musasi, and I think I match up well with him, man. I think he underestimates me. I think I bring a lot to the table, and I think I just match up with him well, and I can bring the pace, and I can outwork him, and also I'm crafty in my own way, and he might not see it, or I don't think he really studies me. So when he does study me, he might see it, but if he doesn't, he'll figure out fight night.
So it sounds like you're going to have to make a pitch to the promotion then. So go ahead and use the platform right now to do so. Make that pitch to Bellator why you should be next.
I'm not trying to pitch shit. I'm just showing up, punching people in the face, and they can make the fight happen if they want. If they don't, I'll just keep punching people in the face. It's all good. I'm just here to work. I like to work. I like to be employed, and I like to fight. So whatever gets me that next fight, if it makes sense, I'll do it.
Well, I hope that you are indeed going to be next. 'Cause, I mean, it makes sense to me. I mean, just looking at your body of work, you're undefeated. You've climbed through the rankings. You just beat a former title challenger. I mean, to me, it makes a lot of sense that you indeed should be next.
That's the that's the answer I want, though. Get what I'm saying? I want the fans. I want the people to be like, "Damn, yeah, Johnny needs to be next." Like it shouldn't be me. I'm just doing my job. You, as a journalist, and the fans, you should be pushing Bellator to make the fight that they want to see. It's not up to my opinion. It's up to what people want to see. So all I do is I just showcase my skill set, and then I let the people talk.
Yeah, well, again, like I said, it makes sense to me. I'm not the Bellator matchmaker, though, but if I was, I mean, it, again, makes sense, especially to undefeated and your ranking, too, because I imagine, right, coming off a win against John Salter and with Austin losing, you're probably going to be ranked in the top spot, right?
And they haven't came out with the rankings yet, but I really think I'll be at the number one spot.
Well, again, like I said, it makes sense to me, but I did want to actually get your thoughts, though, on the recent title fight, which was, of course, Gegard Mousasi and your teammate Austin Vanderford. A lot of people thought Austin was going to beat Gegard there, and they thought that the writing was on the wall for that. You, of course, I talked to you, I believe, back in December when those two guys were training for that fight, and you were saying too that you thought Austin was going to get the jump on Gegard there. So, just your thoughts on the matchup now that it's all said and done, and Gegard got the victory and did so very decisively, getting Austin out of there very quickly.
I thought maybe nerves got to Austin a little bit. He came out swinging pretty hard. Um, Gegard touched him up a little bit, was staying calm. Then you could see Austin kind of like loading up to shoot, like he wanted to take him down. Looked like Gerard spalled hard on him. Looked like Austin might have got hurt during the exchange and then just covered up. It was a little bit weird. I'm sure it didn't go as planned, obviously for Austin.
and he'll get better from it for sure. He's a hard worker. He's a good dude, and he'll definitely become a better fighter because of that experience.
All right, I do want to end with a little ATT check-in here because you got to share the card with your teammate Cody Law. Cody, of course, is a very good friend of ours here at My MMA News. I've been interviewing him since he was 0-0. He had just signed with Bellator, so obviously you got to share the card with him.
And Roman Faraldo, can't forget about that dude. He knocked the dude out with a jab, bro.
Oh, jeez. Yeah,
That's
so
my homie. That's the dude I mainly train with, by the way. He's one of my main training partners. But yeah, Cody looked awesome. Cody looked very composed. Put the dude out with a right hand. Dude, we're at the top in ATT, especially in the Bellator ranks, because Cody's up there, Roman Faraldo's up there, Austin Vanderford, got Danny Sabatello, we got
Dalton
who am I missing?
Ross.
Dalton Rasta, we got Saeed Somed. Yeah, man, we're killing it.
Yeah, a lot of great things going on down there in ATT. But the reason why I was going to ask you about Cody was I know that was a pretty big thing over the weekend where he predicted his victory right down to the very second at 117. Of course, went kind of viral over the weekend there with that big prediction like that. Just your thoughts on that prediction, how he was able to do it so decisively. I mean, like what a Mystic Mac type moment.
Sorry, 1 second.
Hey, you're good. Taking care of the Tesla.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty awesome that he called that, and yeah, man, that's insane. But I guess he does that every fight, and that's pretty cool that it actually played out like that one time. And who knows, maybe it happens again in the future. But yeah, that's freaking awesome.
All right, Johnny, it's been a lot of fun. We covered a lot of ground here today. One last thing, though, before you roll out social media, management, sponsors. I know you've given tons of shout outs here today, but if there's anybody else you got to give a shout out to, floor is yours.
Okay, shout out to Functional Pattern. Shout out to Zero Acres. Shout out to Noodle House, My Lee. Shout out to Sucker Punch, American Top Team, Wavelength. And yeah, man, follow me at Johnny Eblen on Instagram and Twitter.
All right, Johnny, thanks for the time here today, man, and hopefully you get that Bellator title shot there. Again, makes sense to me, but good luck with whatever happens there in the future. Congratulations on another victory, and to everybody that was out there watching today's interview, if you liked it, please go to the bottom, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already, and remember to keep going to MyMMANews.com. Great work comes out there 7 days a week. Great social media pages as well, so make sure you give us a like and a follow on there as well. We'll see you later, everybody.